Welcome back. The time is 6:45. Checking out some clouds this morning as the sun slowly breaks through. Just 32 degrees to get our day started. I know I had a little bit of frost on the window. I'm just always thinking about the day's high when I leave in the morning. So I always grab the lighter jacket, finding myself I wish I would have grabbed the heavier one for the morning. All right, let's go ahead and jump into news. Our top story this morning, justice for Lori Bray. It took jurors less than 2 hours to find 24-year-old Diego Hernandez guilty for her murder. During their final arguments, prosecutors highlighted previous evidence they laid out in the case, like the scratches on Hernandez's face and bloodstained seats in Bray's car. The defense did not call any final witnesses and rested their case early in the morning. Lori Bray was killed on October 1st, 2019, after offering Hernandez a ride home. He will be sentenced at a later date. Now we go to Colorado, where 10 people are dead, including one police officer following a mass shooting yesterday at a grocery store. As CBS's Elise Preston reports, Boulder police say the investigation will take at least 5 days to complete.
A gunman killed 10 people at this Colorado supermarket Monday afternoon.
At 14:30 hours, the Boulder Police Department began receiving phone calls of shots fired in the area and a phone call about a possible person with a patrol rifle.
Boulder police confirm one of its officers, 51-year-old Eric Talley, is among the dead. He was the first on the scene.
He was, by all accounts, one of the outstanding officers at the Boulder Police Department, and his life was cut far too short.
Shoppers like Ryan Borowski weren't sure what they heard at first.
I can't believe it's happening in Boulder, honestly.
But quickly realized they needed to get out.
Somebody had their hand on my back, I had my hand on somebody's back, and we were just saying, go, 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 run.
Sarah Moonshadow and her son were checking out when the shooting started.
And he shot towards us like we could feel it, and we just kept going. We just ran.
This man's grandchildren and son-in-law were at the store's pharmacy getting a COVID-19 vaccine.
The shooter came in, shot the woman in front of them. They hid, ran upstairs or hiding in a coat closet for the last hour. Half a dozen cops came in through the roof and then told them, stay quiet, and they're okay.
A man in handcuffs whose leg was bloodied was led out of the store. Police say the suspect was the only person injured who did not die. Elise Preston, CBS News.
The Boulder County District Attorney said their office is going to go all out to ensure the right result is reached when trying to get justice. The police department will hold another press conference at 8:30 this morning. One resident was killed and 2 firefighters were injured in upstate New York when a massive fire broke out at a nursing home. An explosion sparked the flames and caused the roof to cave in. The assisted living facility could house up to 200 residents. At this time, there's no word on what caused the explosion. Today is expected to be the last day of jury selection for the trial of the former Minneapolis police officer charged in the death of George Floyd. 14 jurors will hear the case against Derek Chauvin. 2 jurors will be alternates. The judge said he wants attorneys to select a 15th juror just in case. A dozen potential jurors will be questioned today. The judge said the 15th juror will be excused if the other 14 are still able to serve when opening arguments start on March 29th. Also making headlines this morning, the White House is launching new strategies to try and stop migrants from coming to the U.S. border. Senior officials are planning trips to multiple Latin American countries to inform people the border is closed. Over 17,000 radio ads and 600 social media ads have been purchased in these countries, meant to discourage people from coming here. Some advocates say all of this is too little too late. An attorney with the ACLU called the border crisis a known reality that was likely to occur. President Joe Biden promised a major infrastructure overhaul during his campaign, and now he's putting plans in place to do so. The administration could split the plan into 2 proposals for lawmakers to consider. One bill would invest in manufacturing, transportation, and reducing carbon emissions. The other would focus on paid leave and universal pre-K and community college. Back here in Montana, the state's budget is rounding into form. The House voted to approve the Republican drafted bill on a party line 67 to 33 vote. vote. GOP lawmakers made one large amendment to Governor Gianforte's original proposal. They cut $4 million in spending on state agency positions that are currently unfilled. Democrats tried to make a few amendments of their own, looking to increase spending for health and human service programs, but all their attempts failed. The bill will be up for one final vote before heading to the Senate. Meanwhile, lawmakers are working against a deadline as they attempt to draft a bill to spend $3 billion in federal COVID relief money. Some proposals include $600 million for building and repairing local water and wastewater systems across the state. Another $360 million would go to expand broadband internet, and $400 million would be used on K-12 schools. The first draft of the bill could be finished in a day or two, and its first hearing is expected this week. Now closer to home, the Billings Area Indian Health Service is getting COVID-19 vaccines into the arms of the people they serve as efficiently as any group. IHS leaders say they're outpacing Montana and the entire country. Across the state, IHS has vaccinated 17% of patients eligible through their program. This as some tribes make significant strides in protecting their people. For example, the Blackfeet Nation reports they vaccinated 95% of their adult population. Tribal leaders credit the local nurses.
Words can't express how thankful we are to these people that have done this for us, and that's what got it there. Advocating, going around and just using, and our people just flocked when it was time for vaccine.
Several reservations are now vaccinating any Montana adult, a tribal member or not, with the goal of achieving community immunity. There are new questions this morning about the information used by AstraZeneca for the U.S. trial of its vaccine. The National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases says it is concerned the drug maker used outdated information when it reported results from its human trials yesterday. The agency wants AstraZeneca to work with the U.S. Data Safety and Monitoring Board to review the data and release updated information as soon as possible. The company did not respond to the allegations. Tourism groups want the White House to help them get back to business by May 1st. The organizations want people who have been vaccinated against COVID-19 to be exempt from testing requirements before entering the United States. They also want the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to say that vaccinated people can travel safely. The White House did not comment, but referred to remarks by the CDC director. She said the health agency is working on new guidance for people who are vaccinated, but now it's not the time to travel. There have been concerns throughout the pandemic that women and small business owners from communities of color are being left behind when it comes to the Paycheck protection loans coming from the federal government. Reporter Maya Rodriguez shows us the new effort to try to make sure this doesn't happen.
Many brides-to-be dream of finding the perfect dress for the big day. But at Elite Secrets Bridal, COVID-19 shutdowns nearly turned LaTanya Turnage's small business into a nightmare.
I can't even put into words how scary it was as a business owner.
When COVID hit, weddings hit the brakes. Turnage wondered if her Baltimore bridal shop would survive. She heard of the federal Paycheck Protection Program loans, but
I didn't think that was something that I would even qualify for.
So far in 2021, more than 2.7 million PPP loans have been approved, totaling over $181 billion. The average size of a loan, $66,000. How that breaks down by race and ethnicity is an incomplete picture. It's up to small business owners to volunteer that information, and many choose not to. But of those that do, the disparity in lending is massive. To try to address that, the Biden administration recently set aside several weeks to prioritize PPP loan applications from small businesses run by women or people of color.
A lot of the smaller businesses in our disinvested communities have less resources, and they also have less banking relationships, and the banking relationship was very key in the PPP loan process.
Colin Tarbert is president of the Baltimore Development Corporation, the city's economic development agency. Their concern matches those in most mid and large American cities. Communities of color were falling through the cracks of the PPP. Their solution? Bring together a network of grassroots organizations to target them.
So we had people on the ground that had relationships with small businesses in their community to be able to act as validators for the network.
It was almost like a dream come true.
Among the 1,500 small business owners they've helped so far, LaTanya Turnage.
There were a lot of bills that were coming in, and the money that we received really, it saved our business. It really saved our business.
A business that she says is just starting to bounce back.
We were like, oh my God, this is what we're talking about. We're starting to get back into doing what we love to do.
By helping others fulfill their own dreams.
Back to saying yes to the dress.
In Baltimore, I'm Maya Rodriguez.
The time now is 6:55. That does it for your news on this Tuesday. Now let's get a check of weather with Miller.
All right, Victoria, thanks a lot, and good Tuesday morning, everyone. Let's jump right into those headlines. Unsettled weather this week. It's a bit of a roller coaster ride. I'll explain here in just a second. But we've got the mountains and the foothill snow this morning, and also another little blast that's coming through on Thursday, giving us another round. Wednesday looking dry and cool, and then as we get into the weekend, knock on wood, it's going to be dry and then warmer by Sunday, trying to get into the 60s here in Billings. As we take a live look across Billings right now, I saw a little bit of rain, maybe still a little bit of rain falling out of those clouds there in the background. This view courtesy of the Stockman Bank weather cam. 32 at the airport, feels like 25. Humidity at 66, dew points at 22. So we still have some of that moisture out there, but that number is slowly falling. And as we go along today, it should fall, and as that moisture really chases behind that front that's out of the state already. Winds out of the northwest at about 12 miles an hour. Temperatures across the area, we've got 31 in Columbus, 33 in Roundup, up in Jordan at 31, Miles City at 26, down in Sheridan where we're sitting at about 31. Temperatures across the state capital, Helena, where we've got some flurries, 34, some snow in Missoula, especially in the higher elevations, we're at 31. Butte at 20. Other side, we've got Glendive at 31, down in Cody, 32. Now, we've got the snow, and I think it's still we're kind of like insulated here in the Magic City, off to our west and down to our south. You see that line right there? Well, check this out. That's where our winter weather advisories are in effect until tonight, the Beartooth and Red Lodge foothills. And the bulk of this we're thinking is this morning, 2 to 4 inches of snowfall there, and then the northeast Bighorn Mountains, 4 to 8 inches of snowfall possible. So your morning commute kind of dicey. Later today, maybe kind of slushy as well, so just keep that in mind. And of course, we've still got that accumulating snow through this evening, 2 to 4 inches. Isolated up to 6 inches for the Absarokas. Let's see here, Owl Creek Mountains and the Bighorn Range. But again, here in Billings, just a slight chance we're going to still see some flurries this morning, maybe some rain this afternoon, but we'll see those clearing skies as we go along today with temperatures mainly in the 40s, some 50s off to our east and some 30s off to our west. Across the state today, a lot of cloud cover if you're not seeing the snow or the rain, and then we'll see some breaks for some sunshine later this afternoon as that front gets farther and farther away from the state and that little blast of energy trails in behind it. Could see some breezy conditions today here in Billings as well, with some gusts over 20-25 miles an hour. I think our top gust yesterday hit near 30, around 28. So not out of the question that we'll see it again today. So here's that roller coaster I was talking about. A chance of rain and snow today, mainly this morning, maybe some rain in the afternoon, but then the skies will start to clear. High getting up to about 47. Then we get back to the 50s for the next several days. Dry tomorrow, still going to see the cloud cover, and then here comes that next front out of the northwest. That is going to give us a chance of some rain and snow on Thursday, maybe as early as Wednesday night. Kind of like what we're seeing today along the foothills and the mountainous regions, maybe a better chance you'll see that accumulation off of that system. Then on Friday, we're looking pretty good. What I don't have there is on Saturday morning, maybe a very slight chance we could see some rain when we wake up, a little blast of energy coming in, and then as we get into the afternoon, and then on Sunday, the weekend really shaping up to be very, very nice. Back to the 60s we go to wrap up the weekend.